instead of Priesta, which seems weird. But again, who knows how that's going to work out for FaZe. They've had more success this past week than they did the first one. But against Red Reserve, there's really no telling.
Yeah, and just speaking of the first map, I mean, we've talked about how good teams like EG and Red are on this particular map. So FaZe, I think, definitely has their work cut out for them in game one, but if they play like the Stage 1 championship squad they are, they can take out anybody. Attach does have the bar out on the break. You saw what? I think it was on this map. It was a double bar setup from EG against Red Reserve that really got them flustered. I wonder if maybe FaZe did their homework and try some of the same.
I would have to imagine that's exactly it. Again, EG came in with that counterplay and saw success. Why wouldn't you rip them off? And of course, Rated, though, he's going to be rocking the STG, and I don't think I've seen a second AR from Red Reserve. So they're going with Old Faithful. They think the strategy they have is going to be more beneficial to them, but obviously this is where we learn. This is going to be the test. Of course, at the same time, Joe is 0-3, so I don't know if he has an AR sub, so who knows, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing we'll see is just whether Attach and Replays keep those out throughout the course of the game, or if Attach maybe pulls out a sub as things get going. Can we check Attach for one moment? Was it just the opening break? Okay, so it was just the opening break, it looks like, and now kind of back to a standard set.
And I think that's the correct way to go about things. I think you want an AR off the rip, purely just to like wallbang, just to hit that middle push, just to catch players as they come inside. That's what Attach did. But I do want to see him pull it out again for the parking lot hill, but that's way down the road. Right now we have Zero being sneaky. He's going to have Priest as a cleanup kill. Should be easy. Priest, though, the awareness on point, and that's going to allow FaZe to essentially get the best setup they want.
Nice play. Sneaky doesn't pay off. Priest is able to catch him. But Scraps now disrupting inside of Grandma's. He actually wins 2 gunfights. That's going to be the opening they need. Not able to beam Zuma before he's going to end up dropping. So Zuma will hold inside the hard point. It's going to be the front flood coming in from the side of Red Reserve. So far, Attach and company holding on. A nice grenade kill was the first pick they needed to slow it down, but when the dust settles, it's actually 3 kills from Rated that get them in and spawn out FaZe.
It's also a lot of credit to Scraps just to take down 2 inside of Wine, and he tagged Zoom up, had him weak, and made it easy for his team to come in for the sweeps, and that's a hugely important factor. Just not only getting that first kill, but at least putting shots into the next just to help your team out a little bit more, and that's when we talk about the assist and hard point, but neglecting that, it is FaZe that has won the rotation over towards the 3rd hill, and you see Doom and Destruction he is causing over in Restaurant.
And this is going to be interesting to keep an eye on this throughout the course of the game, because Raiden was on fire, I think, so much yesterday that he almost took Chino and as a secondary to subs out of the game. Like, he was so hot yesterday. Can he do that same thing to FaZe Clan? Because sometimes we talk about replays, you know, it's not maybe the skill or the accuracy that stands out the most. If Raiden's on one of those tears again, is he going to be able to keep up? Or the pressure maybe from his subs be able to take Rated out of his rhythm?
In my opinion, it's not on replays at all, though. It's not the AR battle. Replays is going to get his. He's always going to have, like, these average games. But you see, it's about the players around him, if they can get their sort of thing. Because replays that entire time sat on a head glitch, pre-aimed one single thing with the bar, which is what you want to have. Someone to lock down that lane. But it's about how the rest of FaZe is doing around him. And so far, so good. But at the same time, we talked about Joe, most improved player right now, 3-10.
Wow.
Needs to turn his game around. But the players around replays Attach, shredding for the moment, 11-8. I wanted to see if he's going to switch to an AR. Hasn't had time. He hasn't died. He's killing everyone until he dies.
That's exactly what you want to see from FaZe. Attach, Zuma, Priesta picking up the kills, replays, low engagements, and time in the hard point. Exactly the recipe for success, but as we talk about success, it Scraps that guns 3 with a bar before ultimately being traded out, but a big part of why Red Reserve now able to get set up at lookout post. It's Zero hitting out topside as he finds a pair of kills. Still one more here, who will ultimately be able to take him out. There's going to be a battle inside of Red for early control, the next hard point as well. It's Scraps that gets up top, but he's flanked pretty quickly by Zuma there.
Either way, this is a pretty huge hold like the entire time for Red Reserve. FaZe is fighting for a little bit of scrap, but at the very same time, it's still a nice comeback at the end of the day. So we get a fresh reset within a 10-point game between these two teams, competitive as ever. We said Joe needs to turn around from 3-10. Well, he's starting to earn some streaks. He does get shut down, but still has that Glide Bomb in hand.
Picks it up almost immediately. Nice gunfight win again from Priesta. He's had Zero's number in those one-on-one gunfights thus far. Priesta sitting at 14 and 10 on a 4 streak, 5 in a row now as he's 25 off of streaks. I like this. Get up top, make sure you can't be naded or wall banged. Continue to try and build on these streaks. Heck, even maybe let Red touch the hard point, then try to pick up a couple of kills if that's how you want to find the streaks. His teammates, though, Zuma and Attach, getting it done inside the hard point. FaZe building up the lead once again. Priesta, I think, saw the head of now 3 players. So the calls are there, the shots are there, the glide bomb is there. Priesta on a tear.
And I would be perfectly fine with him going on a flank as well, just jumping out the window. He's going to try to take this gunfight head on, though. He's by himself. He's going to challenge into 2, and there he falls. And I don't know if I agree with it. Like, yes, if you didn't have streaks, then you definitely want to go for that challenge. But now you're feeding streaks to Rated even. So we're going to have streaks all over the place, and it's going to be a chaotic game from here on out. We got a bunch of open hills and a bunch of opportunities for either team to just run away with this game. Yes, FaZe has the rotation to next, but we already know at least one God Bomb is going to be there, and Zero's pushing ammo.
Joe has found a kill. Zero's found a kill. The glide bomb has not been called in yet. Number Rated still working on streaks. Zero, nice gunfight win against the AR. Replays in the back there. Now this is the big thing. Can Rated get in position to continue the streak he's on? He has found another one. There's the glide bomb. He knows Zuma's in the back because he just picked up Zero. He's got the long-range gunfight. Zuma trying to peek him, over peeks, and now he's fully streaked out. Snaps to the second in the mid-cut. 8 in a row for Rated. Almost the 9th there, but God, man, pick it up right where he left off yesterday, Chance.
And FaZe has to know. And again, just want to point it out, if Priest took a little bit more care to get his, at least it would be balanced. Now the entire favor is going to be in Red Reserve's hands. Yes, FaZe still has the lead, but they don't have the rotation, and even if they did, you got enough streaks to break on through. Priest has got a glide bomb to work with, so again, minimal amount of potential here, but FaZe, they definitely have the work cut out for him.
Be curious to see if they play behind this from Priesta. They need to get in position, though. If they replays, though. I'm sorry, Zuma in trouble as they call in the artillery there and cut off one lane. That's going to force him to wrap back through red and mid. Priesta's now going to go ahead and invest his streak. Spots everything. Will be able to call out. He's going to go for the player in the hard point, which is Rated. Where does Rated pop? They get there in time. Look at the spawn. 3 players out. FaZe with the 4-man down, clean break. What a play out of FaZe Clan.
And definitely want to see Nameless talk about that artillery, because he didn't even block off a single person. He tried to block off a lane that only Zuma was coming through. Like, if you're going from 2nd to 3rd, and you're coming out of the hill, everyone goes mid-map. Like, you don't start flooding Radio Tower until you get wiped once, so artillery obviously did not pay dividends, and there you see, Priest, he only had 1 streak, but they do get the breakthrough, so they go from a spot with next to no hope, and now they got a 30-point lead, and they've taken out at least 1 streak, so still a close game, still a lot of potential for either team, but if I was FaZe, I'd be happy.
Absolutely. Can they get another early break? Because it will be red inside. It's Rated in the hard point. Zuma gets control of top red, though. That makes Rated's job very hard, as he's going to get picked up with the STG that Zuma found on the dead body. Zuma getting awfully close to streaks as well, and he's trying to hold the angle, pushing out a barn right now. Able to call it out to his teammates, but Scraps a Red Reserve trying to win a couple of gunfights on the opposite side, and he's able to do just that. Zuma, can he get these streaks and maybe help ice this game right now for FaZe? No, gonna get dropped, and who else? It's Rated that's able to beam a mid-map.
And that's a situation where it just seems like Zuma doesn't know how to play with the AR in that situation. Didn't find a single kill, tried to watch a cut, but was completely unsuccessful. So, like, yes, every player can use every gun, but stylistically, man, you just want to sub in that man's hand. He wants the streaks. I'm just saying it's tough, right?
Yeah.
Completely separate argument. I know it's a little bit too much.
And the fact his 2 teammates died topside for Scraps. After that, it's just like, oh, what do I do now? But FaZe will be inside of red here, Chance, with a 10-point advantage. They haven't been able to bury red yet. Joe still has this glide bomb from earlier in the game, but Zuma shooting glide bombs out of his submachine gun, able to win that gunfight.
Trying to let it ride as well. It gets taken down, but now everyone from Red Reserve is going to be forced to come in through square, and Attach is ready for it, even going to pre-fire their second, but he's got teammate support, which he doesn't need because he's got X-ray vision. Joe's last one up top. He's got 2 players looking at him, and this is honestly huge. Red Reserve essentially has to force their way back into this hill. It's going to be too big of a lead for FaZe Clan to get just to go into next, so this is do or die now. Red Reserve, they got to break. They got to go fast, and you got to get past Zuma who's up top. Not an easy accomplishment to do, because you can see Zuma can just jump out of the window, get an essentially pre-made flank made. He gets taken down, but this is too much. I think FaZe just has this in the bag.
Yeah, it's not over yet, but it's darn close, Chance. They're going to be just over the 240 mark. You do have Rated set up in the back for the next hard point. They're going to have to call on a glide bomb here, so they're not going to have this for the next rotation. They need to be perfect here and then be perfect on next. They're actually going to call on a couple of streaks. The big thing, though, is you do still have a fighter pilot to work with, and Rated connects with both. Can him and Zero work together to get the kills? It's all Rated. He's already found 3. The only player remaining now is going to be, what, Attached that's inside of Granny's. It's doable because you still have a couple of streaks, but you've got to be flawless on both. You can't let things fall apart. They just did. They just fell apart.
Rated, he doesn't have time. He's got to call on this fighter pilot. Scraps is going to have to stay alive in the back, but Scraps doesn't. So even with the fighter pilot, you keep him out of the hill for 2-3 seconds, and you're able to find 2, make it 3. So here we go. Red Reserve still trying to break back in, and at the very least, if they hold on, that means FaZe can't win, but FaZe is going to force this. Red Reserve has to be here. The gunfight's going down in the way of FaZe. Joe tries, Rated the last one up. He's going to fall, and that's going to do it. The fighter pilot doesn't make a difference if you can't force out the spawns, and FaZe Clan with the clean map 1 victory on St. Marie du Mont.
And that is a win against Red Reserve on one of their best hardpoint maps. They were not one of their best, it is their best. They were 3-1 to this point. And FaZe, to be fair, they led throughout the course of that, right? Like they had, well, okay, there were some back and forth lead changes early, but once they got the lead down the stretch, never gave it up. Red was trying to play from behind, and I don't know, they sort of needed a miracle there. And honestly, they were in trouble. Even if they got out of that hard point, the fact they had to invest, 2 glide bombs and a fighter pilot to just try and secure Winery, they were screwed for parking lot.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think you want to backtrack even further just when they use the artillery to, like, no effect. Like, if anything, just use the glide bomb first. That way you at least get information on where players are coming from. Use the artillery, put it down. You're like, we don't have to watch this one very specific lane that's incredibly easy to watch even from inside the hill, and they just ignored the rest of the map, and FaZe breaks through.
Is that break probably the biggest moment in the game, when FaZe gets the 4 down and breaks in the parking lot?
I think it would have to be, because that was the opportunity. Red Reserves in the hill, they got the streaks. You want to get that full 60 just to retake the lead, but at the end of it, they're still down by 40 points. They have less utility. So I think that would be the defining moment of the game, in my opinion. But obviously, there's a lot that was going on.
Let's talk Arden Forest S&D. I think the thing that stands out here, neither of these teams have played it yet in Stage 2.
Yeah, and I think ultimately the situation for that means Red Reserve, how experienced are they with the new man on the team? And of course, FaZe, they had to have played on this map 50 or so times by now, so they're going to know what's up. It's just about, again, who can make those mid-game adjustments. I think it'll still be close.
For me, it is the Rated versus Zuma show. I know they play very different in Search, but they're both just beasts. I mean, Rated has what? I think he accounts for almost 22% of the first bloods. For Red, on the other side, it's almost 26% for Zuma. You saw what Rated did yesterday on London Docks. You know, we were casting that. It was incredible. It was one of the best Search and Destroy performances I've ever seen. Like, it was just methodical. 19-6 performance. One of the guys on the other side that's capable of that, we have a couple. I mean, I think Zuma can put up monster numbers. Attach can put up monster numbers in Search and Destroy as well. Oh, hell, we've seen Priest do it too. And Replay is always there for the big clutches. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm just kind of thinking, who drops the biggest bomb here? Rated or Zuma? That's what I'm looking for.
Well, even still, like, Rated absolutely stole the show against Envy, but you want to talk about great S&D players. Like, Zero's been lackluster overall in Division, in this division, Division A, but he's been a monster in Search, like, all year. Granted, Texas is a huge factor in that, but same thing with Scraps. Scraps has been disgustingly good in Search and Destroy all year. I think you have 2 of the best S&D players in the world. Well, really 4, I guess you could say. You could extend that to Zoom and extend that to Attach. Just in the game. Again, I'm expecting this to just be a good match.
If you just talk KD, it's what, a 1.38 Search KD for Scraps. And on the other side, the highest is actually Attach with a 1.59. So you can think about the first blood. That matters, obviously. But overall, KD and something like Search and Destroy also very important as well. Because a lot of times they may be last guy alive making some of those clutches.
Well, you talk about comfort as a team. Zuma wastes no time, but he's just going to walk into Zero. The smoke stack pays off to, well, block the cut, but not to win the gunfight. And there's your first blood, and now FaZe are just stuck. They're trapped over in Bell. There's one player Replays that's kind of out watching the flank, but no one's coming.
Yeah, you sort of got like a 1-on-1 on one side of the map and a 2-on-3 here towards the site. Until you can get Scraps out of this position, you're in trouble, but Attach wins a huge gunfight. Now, Rated's still here, and he's not going to be easy to take out. And he's going to get right back to top control, man. The fact he's able to get there quickly after the first gunfight, retake top, is massive. But now, due to the push on the opposite side from Replays and the fact he's able to take his 1-on-1, he's now got an opportunity to clutch. It's Replays against Rated in Zero. He's got to get that first kill. The shots are a little bit more on. He might be able to get the kill.
Well, even still, I think that's about as good as it gets. To even like have the hope of winning that gunfight against a guy top plat, I think it's just a good attempt, and now Zero makes sure that he can stay alive. Rated should at least have a general feel on where Replays is coming from, but it's all about that timing. But again, Replays, you can basically just do nothing. It's so tough.
Yes,
it's impossible.
Really sometimes that peak from mid, like if you catch them without, kind of like half wall in front of them, you can burn them there quickly, but you can't miss a shot. You basically have to get them immediately before they get down to cover. But nice attempt from Replays, just comes up a little bit short, and really things fall apart on the first blood. As soon as Zero is able to take out Zuma there and it's an uphill battle from there for FaZe Clan.
I mean, the fact that, like, what was it, Attach and Zuma were even able to kill whoever it was, Scraps, I guess, top plat to begin with.
That were too, yeah.
The fact that that even happened is insane enough on its own, but as soon as that first kill comes down, as soon as you get complete control of B, it should just be a free win. But now, Smoke Strat's on the flip side of the map, but you actually have two players here for FaZe that are kind of stacked up, and yeah, Priesta, he's ready for it. Wins the first gunfight in Cave, and yes, he does get traded out, but Replays is going to be here. Not for the instant trade, though. Joe's able to get by, and this is just bad for Replays.
Yeah, I think Joe saw him cross to the corner, so Joe gets vision of it, just pops up to the window and gets the kill, and now it's a 2 versus 2 with both players coming in through the cabin alley. Zuma rips Joe off, though. Now 1 versus 1. Rated and Zuma, the two guys I talked about, how crucial this matchup can be. Rated's 5-0 to kick off this game, by the way. He has not slowed down from yesterday's performance at all. He takes the gunfight to range. He knows he has an STG going up against the PPSH, and he has a sub to work with as well. This is so big. Because how close he is to streaks right now. If he gets the plant, he actually gets the glide bomb.
Zuma knows, though. I think Zuma's on the hunt right here just because his teammates are calling out, like, you can't let him plant. Zuma's wasting no time. He's coming in. The plant's going to go down, but Zuma's going to get the kill. And they're going to know exactly what Rated has to work with. But still, the important thing is he does have something to work with.
Yeah, he gets the glide bomb. So that is big for them. But, yeah, Zuma ultimately gets the timing there. I mean, he gets there a half second earlier, gets that kill before the plant goes in. Wow, that is perfect for FaZe. But you still take that round victory, obviously.
I guess a solid play from both teams, you could really say. I will say Joe made that really concerning because if Replays just stays on that bomb head glitch in that situation, that would just be the freest of round wins for FaZe. So gets a little bit weird, but again, solid across the board.
Zuma, aggressive up mid-map once again. Looks like he's actually stopped at the tank this time. You see that glide bomb. Earned by Rated. Zero, just checking around through you. He found that first blood from this position the first round. Zuma plays it a little bit differently and almost catches him.
Well, at least one nade's coming in. I don't know if they were trying to coordinate, but it looks like that's not going to connect. But yeah, Zero eventually falls. So I don't know if he got tagged up with anything else, but Zuma was there for the first blood. And now you can see that B-side control. Someone gets to top plat. You just kind of win after that point. Joe for the 1v4 finds Zuma, but now the bomb's going to get planted. And now you just got players that are swarming around this B site.
Look at the stats. It's sort of Rated 5-2. Zuma 5-2. Guy's so talented, man. But Joe still with a chance in this. The problem is obviously the clock against him and the man advantage against him. There's a lot against him, Chance.
FaZe making sure they're not giving up too much. Replays in a nice spot. He should be able to run, but no. He's going to take the gunfight. Wow, Joe's going to come out on top, but he's weak. And you see Priesta just wasting no time.
I think Replays is like, he's weak, he's weak, he's weak. Please hunt him down. Don't let him get his health back and maybe take another gunfight. But that was a pretty sick kill on the Replays. Don't even give him a chance in that one-on-one.
I think Replays probably should have just been on the other side. That way, if you see Joe come from top, you can take the gunfight. If you think you're not going to lose it, then you can actually get away from cover. That's why I was saying I thought he was just going to lay down. He takes the gunfight, and we talked about most improved players in the division. Joe's up there. He's hitting some shots right now.
Not the best game one, but definitely making his presence known in this game too, as he's 4-3. I mean, him and Rated account for what, 9 of their 10 kills.
Zero though, working mid-map. He's actually just getting fine too. Zuma cleans him up, but just like that, Zero's out here making plays in search. Again, he talked about honestly just how many great search and destroy players we have in this lobby. Attaches one, of course, as well. Trying to get the wall bang on, and Joe connects at the end, but it might not be enough. Zuma's going to sprint in, and if Attach had gotten him a little bit weaker, Zuma can win that gunfight.
That would be the second time we've seen him fly in and win that gunfight. Attach, though, still with a chance. Still with a chance here. We've had a lot of these clutch opportunities for either side. Doesn't connect on him, so maybe he doesn't know he's pushing quite yet. Peeks it, can't win it. Joe holds on the bomb site and closes out the round.
And that really is just the difference between a bullet, right? Like if Attach connects just one bullet sooner with the STG, he's able to find a second one before he has to dip out. Zuma flies in. They have control of the B site. Obviously still a decent chance Red Reserve could come out on top of the round, but it gets a lot more interesting.
If he kills him there? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, different.
Then it becomes a mess. As soon as you get control cabin, that just becomes a mess.
Difference of a bullet. I do appreciate this, though. Like, I feel like anytime we make a call on when a player should or should not lose a gunfight or round, it almost always works out. Joe had the one interesting one, but it's just good search and destroy we have from these two teams.
Well, offense back to FaZe as they're tied up at 2 apiece. Joe has come alive on the side of Red Reserve. It was all rated early. It's been all Joe recently. Scraps, I thought, got caught with a super awkward timing, but somehow gets the dome with his life. I thought he was dead for sure. The replay still able to get the first blood. Scraps, a little bit of a whirlwind there to try and hit the snipe at top ruins, but can't connect. And now it's going to be Joe and Zero trying to make a play in a 2v4 here, Chance.
Joe gets caught on the flank. Raid's going to fall, and I think that was a delayed push from FaZe, right? They didn't just sprint out towards Bell. I think they waited a couple seconds, and I don't know if that was the plan, but it worked to perfection because it baited Scraps to push up the plat, because if they're not at A, you want to watch mid-map, watch that fire cut. And then they came through Bell after that, and then you have a sniper in a terrible spot. Yes, he stayed alive.
I couldn't believe he even got away. I thought he was dead to rights, but it didn't really matter, did it?
No, not at all. Again, that's what I was saying. Like, he seemed to stay alive longer than he should, but his teammates are still falling around him, and then he just doesn't have the gun for the job after that. If he stays back in dome with a sniper and watches the B cross, maybe it would have worked out better. But again, FaZe just played it perfectly. Red Reserve, though, 4 men mid-map. Some are cutting over towards you. Zuma's going to spot one out through the smoke. Again, the X-ray vision from FaZe has been incredible. Find some shots on Zero, who's the last one alive. He's going to die.
Wow.
That was an attempt.
Some nice rounds here, back-to-back from FaZe, and that's what's going to give them a bit of separation here. 4-2 advantage as Zuma continues to make plays. That might be 9th kill. He's 9-3.
That's a lot. And either way, again, just you're feeding him first bloods at that point when you just like run through the smoke into you, because the advantage should be the player who's not in the smoke, because he should be able to get first sight. I mean, of course, it comes down to a gunfight, but again, Zuma's prepared for it. I think he ate a bullet, if that. Like,
well, I mean, he's having these one-on-ones with Zero, and like Zero may be struggling with confidence and performance right now. Zuma at the top of his game from that standpoint. So, yeah, I'd be taking that gunfight every time if I was Tommy.
See Scraps doing the same thing. He's getting baited out to plat, but it doesn't matter if his teammates are going to fall. Zuma's going to come across, but now he's got the snipe. And you see, he doesn't want to use that gun. Now he's trying to chase with a pistol. With a normal gun, he'd have that kill already. Eventually, he does get it.
He gets there in time to save rated, maybe.
The difference is still there, but now they're going back to B. Can Scraps get a pick, or is he just going to fall again? If he has a gun, who knows? But the glide bomb's falling in. It's going to find at least one. Priest has Mountain, but you're in the snow. You just get spotted. Now we have replays for the 1v2.
Replays had another clutch opportunity earlier in this game. This time, a different scenario, obviously. He's got bomb in hand, 40 seconds on the clock. I do like to see Joe and Rady kind of hunting together, just making sure they can kind of play the trade game. This could work out very well timing-wise for him to get a plant. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get there in time to catch him. The question is, what position does he get to? Let's see how he plays this.
He's playing this so he can watch it actually like from the downriver, like outside a cave, but he's still got to win the gunfights. And, well, no, okay. So doesn't even matter that post-plant positioning. You can appreciate the attempt, but you talked about the AR battle. Rated. He just kind of wins gunfights in Search and Destroy, man. He's been on point.
Well, I think, for the most part, that stood out to me certainly in this game. Anytime we've seen Zuma on FaZe in kind of a one-on-one fight, he's been taking that outside of basically round 1. And for Rated, you can say the same. I mean, if it's been like a one-on-one duel, I mean, he's just not missing right now. He's in incredible, well, both players in incredible form. But that was obviously a big round for Red, because that would have been, what, 5-2 advantage for FaZe had they dropped that. So
especially with the glide bomb being called in as well. You don't want to lose 2 games back-to-back because you don't use streaks as well as you could. So still hope.
So Scraps, who's been struggling, is still going to keep the sniper out. Priest has spotted him. He's just trying to find his head. Oh, God, it's like he's guessing wrong each time on the side he checks. But he is looking over Joe, who continues to push up and maybe try to find position in cave. Joe's got the cave. Can he catch Priesta?
Well, Priest is never peeking the sniper again. I think as soon as he realized what the deal was, that he's just done. Now Scraps is working. Replays is never going to peek this again. But the problem is, it's still tough to get through cave. But the smoke's going to come in, and there's the pick. Replays is, yeah, he's going to wide peek. Just an inch is all it makes.
And Priesta just got naded, I think, on the backside. Oh, he's still good. Still good.
He's going to shot the side.
Everything falling apart for FaZe right now. Zuma has to pull off the 1v4. He comes in and sees a whole legion of players. But nice shots there. He's got a chance. He's got a chance in this 1v4. He's got Zuma inside. He's getting tagged from the opposite angle and can't get away with his life. But Scraps, I don't know if you need to be, typically we talk about 1v4 as the second guy that takes a little bit of a blame. I don't know if you need to be challenging that from Cave in that position as he got beamed, but
Gotta hit them snipes.
Yeah, right. he tried to peek it twice to snipe him. Like, just let him, call him out to your teammates and let him play.
And I will say, though, the delayed smoke won them that round. Like, yes, Scraps gets the first blood, but Priest is still in a decent spot. And the confusion of the smoke, he couldn't tell who crossed cabin wall. He had no idea what was going on, felt the pressure, and then backed out of sight when potentially he didn't need to. But again, the smoke confusion just enough. Now Scraps, though, going to be looking for kills, and Attach going to make it easy. Trying to get more. He's going to find the second. Give him a highlight clip. We're making montages against FaZe, but Raided's going to take one from him. Zoom is caught out. He's going to get sniffed down. And that is a clean round from Red Reserve.
You had back-to-back really nice rounds from FaZe where they go up 4-2. It's looking like they're finally taking over the game. Flawless rounds from them. And then Red, 3 in a row, just turn this game 2 on its head. We'll see if they can get this to around 11. Or if Red can just close it out here. But Scraps, who is basically non-existent through the opening of this game. He started, what, 1-7, 1-8? Now starting to hit some snipes, and they've been a difference.
Well, put away the sniper. They're going back to mid-map. They've gotten stuffed here before.
There.
Replays chucks a nade, and now mid-map control. Partly the way Red Reserve, but they are going to be pinned down in the truck because you can see you got players top plat, you got a player in you. Those two players for Red Reserve, they can't go anywhere. They have to push forward to get past replays, and looks like the opportunity might be there. So at least Scraps is through, but they're just dealing with him. There you go. Eventually finds the kill. Zuma never made the move.
Oh, God.
Now Priest is in trouble.
Priest said, oh, okay, or not. Somehow he almost got 2 kills in what would look like an impossible situation. But now it's on Zuma and Attach. The duo. Did he shoot his teammate?
Yes, he did.
And Attach actually turned around like, what? 40 seconds to do it. Raided, almost gets caught out. Almost caught out. How is he still alive? And Zuma drops as he hits up through Cabin Alley. Attach is gone, and Red rip off 4 straight rounds to tie up this series at 1 apiece.
And it all comes down just that mid-map at the end. Like, if Replays doesn't just chuck that nade right there.
He's gone up there, he probably has 2 kills.
At least 1, and it's just a completely different round. Red Reserve, though, a little bit more methodical towards the end. They found a way to take Replays down. They made sure to basically all 4 players shooting at Priest by the end of it. So it got interesting. Red Reserve, though, came out on top.
I think one thing, it's a small thing, but you know, sometimes as casters, we're critical of snipers when they're struggling a little bit. We say, mix it up, change it up, change it up. Scraps stuck with it. Stuck through it with it, despite the fact he was 1-8. Ends up hitting 3 snipes that were crucial in winning a couple of rounds. But more importantly, I think you nailed it earlier. It was a nice adaptation, kind of mid-round and early round from Red Reserve. They start to take over the search, and they are able to take it, tie up the series. Game 3 coming up next. We just saw Red clutch up there in the game 2 to tie the series at 1 apiece in this best of 5, and now it's time for the game 3 CTF swing game. Who can get control chance? This should be a fun one.
And this is originally the bread and butter for this FaZe roster. I know we're going back to the first event of the year, but there was a time when they were the best CTF team in the game, and their hardpoint was average, and their S&D was average. But because of how good they were at Game 3, they were just constantly winning series. And it's the same situation. Again, not the best CTF in the game anymore, but this is the swing map. This is what, like, it's live or die for FaZe in these Game 3s.
When I talked to the other side, Red I think I talked to Rated about this map. When I asked him what EG pulled out the double bar on that like had them frustrated, I believe it was on St. Marie Hardpoint and then also on London Dock CTF. I imagine this is going to be a much more standard setup from both sides. Maybe not the break, but once they get going, this should be sub on sub, 3 sub on 3 sub for the most part. And I feel like the edge there has got to be to FaZe unless Scraps is world starring. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Or if Joe has a big performance like he has been recently.
Well, I'm going to make an early prediction just because we did see a tap to the STG. I'm not a fan. I prefer Priestley. He's been too good at the flex roll. I think this is a map where I just see it being problematic, but attached to his credit, off to a decent start. And Priestley, well, he has the flag, so there you go. Predictions don't matter. As long as attached turns to watch the cut, which he does for a moment, let's go.
I think, again, that might just be the opening break, but this should get in before they can take him out. It will go through. So Priest able to make the play. Replays out the AR. Weakens one, but not able to find the kill. Still trying to hunt for it, but Zero still here to help. This counter cap is gone. This counter cap is through. Nice job by Red. They let the score go through, but they had 2 pushing through water, and they were able to make the play. Now, can we check attach? Is he back to a sub now? Yes, okay. That makes sense.
So it's really just an opening break thing.
Yeah,
well, in that case, I'm completely cool with it then.
No, that makes sense. You see that a lot in the opening break, just early. Opening break early, yes, that is the same thing.
Pretty much.
Zuma now trying to go underground. You see it's kind of a split hit right now because you've got Priesta on the other side. Zuma is the key. Can he get a kill in from behind? He is. Maybe 2, but Zuma gets to the box. That grenade could finish Zero. Sorry, Zero gets to the box. Now the collapse from Priesta. That actually worked out brilliantly. That worked out really well.
Zuma's underground, and like Rated actually still spawns not too far from underground, and FaZe is aware of it, and just like that, Zuma has 3 players staring at him, and they all like stack up by Cole. That's about as easy as a flag cap as you're really gonna see, and it does come down to that first gunfight. Zuma, by the way, is on a 6 streak. If he pulls the flag, he gets streaks, but he also has to not die, which he does.
That's tough. I mean, once you took that first bullet, I almost might have considered just diving onto the flag just to make sure you get a streak there if you feel like you're dead to rights. But obviously, he's playing to win the gunfight and maybe get the cap out. But he will fall a little bit short, but they still have an edge in this one. But now going to play off the back foot a little bit as the pressure is going to build here from Red. But they have one player that's worried about the overextension. That's Rated all the way in the back. He's worried somebody might be hitting underground or Cole.
That's the power of Zuma. Whether or not he is actually flanking as the flag does get pulled, but Priest is going to be on the hunt. Him and Attached fall, and yeah, the last player up is actually going to be Replays, and he's going to get taken down. So even despite Rated barely being involved until the very end, it was good enough.
Exactly. I mean, that was going to be kind of my point. Like, you're taking sort of a 3v4 but since he's worried about it, but didn't matter. They were able to get it done with 3 players.
Absolutely. Streaks come in. Priest is going to die. Replays is going to get called out. And the important thing is, whoever take that gunfight, Joe, he's able to stay alive and let the glide bomb do the work. So shout out for everyone for Red Reserve contributing now. And yes, one player gets by, but he's going to be too slow.
Is he going to get there? No. And that's full streaks for Red Reserve. The counter cap doesn't happen because Rated's able to pick up the kill at the base as well. Suddenly a lead here for Red Reserve. Excellent stuff.
Insane gunfight sometimes from the bar. Replays gets a trade, and actually Replays is in a great spot because he's going to have to force everyone for Red Reserve to rat back, or even better, call him the streaks. Now the question is, how many does he get? He's going to find Priest, Bazoo, and Replays. We're going to say are going to be on the hunt, but he catches Replays out too. And now, more importantly, the next flag cap's going to come in unless a hero play is there. They take the time, they find him, they get the kills, they get more streaks, they get another flag, they get everything.
That could be more perfect as Zero gets the kill and the score, so he actually gets the streak like you said. That's a perfect scenario right there. As the cap goes in, they're hungry for more. Artillery in, glide bomb in, Zero building towards streaks. The wheels coming off the wagon right now for FaZe as Red Reserve is turned up right now. Zuma in a position to maybe make a play. Unfortunately, there's a swarm there and he gets picked for the artillery for Zero. Wow. Wow. How many streaks do we have on total for Red?
Enough? All of them? Plenty?
Zero and Joe, so you have Fighter and Artillery, and we'll see Joe when he comes off spawn, but I believe he had a couple, right? Okay, just the glide bombs. He got 3. But yeah, still with a 3-cap lead and 3 streaks, you feel great.
And that just happened so fast. That was just like pure and utter destruction, and Red Reserve on the fly are playing the situations perfectly. Trying to let it ride though. FaZe finally able to get a little bit of breathing room, but is it going to be enough? They're still down by 3 flags. They got one more chance at an attack.
And I thought in my head, you know, that when you talk about the 3 sub on 3 sub, the edge goes to FaZe, but that has not been the case. Look at Scraps, Rated, and Joe. Oh, sorry, Scraps, 0, and Joe. Statistically, I mean, they're winning these gunfights as Zuma kills 3. He gets it out on the other side. This could be a chance for a late score. I don't think they're going to invest any streaks here, so great from FaZe in the final seconds.
What is this game, maybe?
That felt like mayhem at times, man. Absolute mayhem, and that's why I love London Docks.
There was a pure minute-and-a-half stretch where Red Reserve just ran a train on their opponent, and then you think it'd be like, okay, Red Reserve, they're going to be fine. They got a nice 3-flag lead, and then Zuma goes on the flank and just kills all 3.
Well, it's funny.
Like, how?
I literally was like calling out the subs of FaZe and talking about how good
Yeah,
the subs of Red. Zuma kills all 3 of the subs, grabs the flag, and then takes it home. Just Zuma things.
I mean, on the bright side, it's tougher to flank from this side. You don't have the underground route for Zuma to work with anymore. But at the same time, like, literally, who knows? Like, obviously, advantage Red Reserve. They have the lead. They have more streaks. But, like, there's no telling, man. Again, as you pointed out, London Docks, anything could happen.
What did Zuma get? Oh, nothing. Okay, so this is crucial. It's big for him to find something early. Want to use Priest as maybe a little bit of bait here. Just keep an eye on that number 8 as he continues to move forward. He's going to have a one-on-one, it looks like, on the other side. It's going to be him and Joe. Big gunfight for FaZe. They need these streaks. There's the gunfight. He's able to get it. Only 1 streak picked up, though. He might get shot in the back. He's got to try and make a play. Bates in front. Gets the touch. The touch not enough, though, to pick up anything extra. Scraps almost gets away the pull on the other side as well.
Replays has to be a hero. He's got to pre-fire this. Can't let the flag get out, but Raided's going to take him down. Now this flag is gone. Raided finds 2. The glide bomb, which again was earned just from a touch, is going to take down 1. Isn't enough. He got Priest coming in from the side. He's able to find 1 kill. Has a second in front of him. Raided's there. Raided's playing slow. He's making sure to get the kills. He's letting his teammates do the hard stuff. Scraps is going to grab the flag, and he's going to be gone. And Raided just sat there and waited for the kills. You talk about the beauty of having a passive player.
Great discipline. Great discipline there from Rated.
Perfect.
And a big score. So all in all, there's a really good sequence there from Red. Like, you don't allow Zuma to get any more streaks past the glide bomb. You're able to pick up the cap. And now you have these streaks to deal with the pressure. I know it doesn't connect with anything. Rated just got beamed, though, by replays. This is a good opportunity here from FaZe to bring it within 2. There's the touch. Now, remember, you have all these streaks. There's still, what, 2 remaining, I believe. But it looks like they're going to have to let that go. It's just too far.
Yeah, FaZe needs to set up for the rally. Got 1 player front fire, but 6 is taking his time. They're wrapping back because they're concerned.
Just look at the kills on FaZe. It's just one of those games where Zuma just stands out so much. It's like double everybody else.
He's also the only player like pushed up, setting up for the rally cap. He's just so far ahead of his teammates, which granted is fine if you're picking up 3 pieces and like single-handedly taking over. You can do what you want, but Attach is going to get cut down. Replays tries to get out, and rightly so. He pulls it for the OE. His teammates have the spawn, but number 1, Scraps, he's gone. This should be a flag pull, and the artillery is going to slow FaZe down. This is huge. If number 7 doesn't get there in time to stop Scraps, which he doesn't, this could be huge advantage for Red Reserve.
Well, Replays did get into underground. What can Attach do? Attach has picked up 1 kill. Rated's holding the edge, though. Attach is in trouble here. Oh, okay. Attach takes out Rated. Now let's take a look at the position of both these flags. I hear Rated just getting so loud right now. That smoke, I guess, ends up working out for Scraps. The kill feed Red right now. A streak comes in as well. They've got him penned for the moment.
Now Rated on the attack. Players are going to spawn up. Tough gunfights to win. He gets the first against Zuma. His Replays challenge just for a moment, and Replays is like, nope, no more. I'm good. Let me dip out. But Rated, again, causing problems. Attach has to go back for him. It's killing it.
Joe's just tucked away in the corner. I don't think they're going to be ready for Joe at all.
Replays knows, but you got to win the gunfight still. Rated coming over from top. Haris is there. Zuma finds his. Joe gets tagged up as well, so he's causing confusion. Meanwhile, Scraps has won, what, 2 gunfights?
What is this CTF?
It's tough. A minute 45, 2 flag lead. FaZe has to win this, man. They got to start winning a lot of gunfights. Also, Scraps is playing really aggressive with this flag.
Look how far pushed up he is. And they keep making the plays on defense as well. But like you said, the longer this goes, the better it works out for Red, you would think. But you mentioned the aggressive flag play. Now it's going to be all on Joe, right? Joe's got to make the play on the other side. He's going to get cut down. Suddenly it's a one flag game with just over 60 seconds to work with. Scrap's positioning. He gets caught by Zuma there. And now Attach just flooding across. He will end up getting caught. They've got just over a minute. I don't think any streaks to work with, right? On FaZe. I don't believe they have anything.
Dude, who knows? Who cares about the streaks? It's all about the gunfights now. Replays is in the back. He's got 3 players looking at him, but FaZe is turtled up in their base as well. No one on this map really knows where their opponent is. So many people turtled up for Red Reserve inside of Fire. Replays is causing problems, and yeah, he's going to go for it. Actually takes it forward. Wins the first gunfight. He already tagged up the second. He's going to get taken down, but FaZe, you think he'd buy in time for them to push up, but they're not really winning gunfights anywhere. Yeah, it's just a stalemate again.
6-5, Red. 30 seconds to go for FaZe. It might be on Zuma, who's in a gunfight, pushing up on the overextension, but Rated is there with a bar. Red Reserve has locked down this final minute, not giving FaZe the opening to get the score through. Next guy up, Priesta, welcome to Bar City. Zero continues to control these water steps. Not enough time to get there. Red, hold on in another nail biter. 2-1 Red Reserve.
What a game. I don't know what the hell Scraps is doing with that flag by train. We'd have to
Well, it was
watch
in Doc's warehouse forever, but I actually didn't notice how far pushed up it was until you said it. I was like, oh, he's like on the backside of their FaZe's train, basically.
Like, you want to have that flag in useless, so like your teammates spawn up around you constantly, but there's plenty of times where you get Forcer over into Docs. And yes, if the pressure's coming in from the flank, you got to swing it over a little bit. So that's what I'm saying.
That bit was so chaotic, I'd have to watch again and see like why, because it seems odd, but surely there's a reason for it out there.
No, that's what I'm saying. At some point, you do have to swing it over, and I'm just saying it seemed like he was there for long enough. Like, I don't know if there was ever an opportunity for him to, like, bring it back or if he was forcing forward. Like, the amount of chaos there, it was just so tough.
Well, he was in Doc's warehouse for a while because it was, what, the fighter pilot that came in from FaZe, I believe, correct? That kind of had
FaZe called in a fighter pilot?
That's what had them pinned, I believe, inside of Doc's warehouse.
I don't know where I was that entire house.
No, I believe it was that's what had them pinned inside Doc's warehouse was the fighter pilot, and then from there, I don't know if they thought one was missing or something, and they were scared to kind of bring it back towards water to their base. I'm not sure exactly.
FaZe really had a fighter pilot.
Yeah, right?
I had no idea. That was
nutty. Because remember they had three streaks going into the second half, right? Or am I thinking, was it Red that had the streak?
I think Red had the streak.
Oh, God. Am I all...
You know, what I will say, though, for all that chaos, and it was a great game as well, for it to be a one flag difference between those two teams, just think about the moment where I think Attach was running the flag. He's running it past B cut. Zero takes him down from the water steps, and Zuma touches the flag and gets the glide bomb. But if Zuma wins that gunfight, that might be a flag cap for them. And keep in mind, Red Reserve turned that into a flag of their own.
That's right. So it was Red with the fighter pilot. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, one flag.
Now that I thought about it, once you said Zuma getting the streak, that was like him getting streaks is what would have tried to equalize if he got him full. That's right.
I was about to say.
Honestly, that map was just so damn chaotic.
Can we just rewatch that?
Dude, I casted one with Joe the other day at London Docks CTF, and like at one point in the game, like late, Joe's like, "What the hell is going on?" Like it's like when it gets real chaotic like that, especially during a stalemate. It's tough to call, but that was awesome. It was very entertaining, that's for sure.
London Docks every game. Well, for CTF.
No, I love it.
Definitely not for every game.
It's
that
a
would be
blast. It's got my head, my brain feels like it's doing backflips, but it was certainly entertaining. And then what was the map for Hardpoint again?
Forest. We got Forest on deck, and I know Forest is in, I don't want to say AR heavy, but yeah, it's an AR heavy map, and you got to imagine.
This is where you're going to see Attach have the AR out. This is where you're going to see Joe have the AR out. So these are two teams that recently underwent a flex change, and flex changes that had question marks on them, I think is easy to say. So maybe this is going to be a little bit of a Joe Attach battle.
That's weird. That just feels so strange.
It sounds so weird to say, right?
Like, again, Joe with an AR, he's been phenomenal, most improved player in the division, I'd have to say. But even to hear him and Attach with an AR, like, I would be thinking, the first game is in the game and every single player on the map has an AR. That's the only rational explanation. But no, this is just, it's the lay of the land at this point. Like, they are just the new flex players.
Well, we're not wrong and nothing's changed, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're about to see.
You'd have to be right. You'd have to be right. And again, I'm definitely staring at Rated. I think he's had an incredible series. He's been on point this entire division. And this is the one time I would be concerned for replays. Like I know on St. Marie, I said he is going to get his. This isn't a map for that. This isn't a map where the AR, well, they're still racking up a lot of hill time, but they need to put up numbers on this.
Absolutely true. See the scoreboard there. Red 2 games, FaZe 1. Can Red close it out here and end? Actually, I didn't really mention, but this is FaZe's kind of dream week. They start at 0-3. This is their chance to go 4-0 on the week. So this is, obviously, even if you go 3-1, you feel good about the week, gets you back in the hunt. But a 4-0 week, it almost erases that slow start.
And not to mention, if you get this win over Red Reserve, they're in the 1 spot, but then they would be tied with like Evil Geniuses now. And if you get enough of the teams at the top, just knock them down a little bit further and further, that means FaZe might be taking, like Red Reserve still could end up in like 5th place and not make playoffs, but it would take series like this for FaZe to take them down. So again, a lot of Call of Duty left to be played. By no means is anyone safe in their spot in playoffs yet.
So there's the attach AR, and then can we check Joe? I imagine he'll have it on the other side. Sure does. So that'll be an interesting flex battle to watch throughout the course of this game. First team in the hard point will be Red. Replays, though, crawling his way up. Whoa, okay. I don't know if a bit of a smoke or grenade exploded there, but Raid, it looked like he had the gunfight. They maybe lost vision for a moment as replays turned and burned. But every second still ticking to Red Reserve.
Gunfight or not, just everyone for FaZe is just not near Cave. They had a lot of pressure mid-map, but that's not where the hill is, and that's exactly where Zero has been. He's gotten every second on the team. Finally, Priest is there for the contest, but still, Zero could just go. I think the coverage is there. Yeah, Scraps is coming to the flank. That's when Zero makes his move, but fortunately for him, maybe just a second too slow, gets hit with this stun, and, well, FaZe does get the scrap time, and Attach is already here, set up with an AR, and this is as good as it gets now for FaZe.
Yeah, what more could you ask for? Literally, get milk the final time there of scrap, and then also have your player in the power position here at top ruins, doing what he can to dodge their grenades. Some nice placement there from Red Reserve will take him out of that spot. But Attach did enough to at least allow his teammates to get across. And now they got their own counter nades of their own coming in. So scrappy start here to ruins.
Zuma feels that there's a player near him, but he wasn't quite sure. Now he's pushing forward. He's going to get taken down. So Scrappy back and forth. And I was going to say Red Reserve comes out on top. Attach is trying to do some damage. Kills coming down everywhere. Yeah, the nades landing in a hill. Basically 0 time has come in so far in ruins.
It looks like Red may have finally stabilized. There it is. They pick up the 2 players in you. Now it's a staggered hit coming in from FaZe. They got to think about giving this up. You don't want to keep going 2 by 2 by 2 and then somehow end up losing spawns for next. Yeah, there. You can see him kind of backing up and giving it up. Just make sure. This is a big hard point early in the game. You've got a big lead for Red Reserve already, at least given how much time has been played. You need a solid effort here from FaZe and Bunker. If you get broken early, this can get out of hand.
And Attach actually does the right thing. He goes on the flank, and yes, he falls, but he gets a better spawn for it, and he saves his team at least 2 or 3 seconds, which matters.
That gunfight win.
Scraps is annihilating, though. Still gets taken down. FaZe is okay. It depends on, well... Oh,
not anymore. If that spawn from Scraps, he's going to pop and basically have a free ride right to the hard point after he picks up Zuma. Oh, my God. And that's due. I mean, he wins that one-on-one, has a teammate to help him, then gets the spawn. How good does that feel for your Scraps? You win the one-on-one, you get blessed with it in the back. Oh, now it's getting out of control. FaZe in trouble.
Raid's hanging out in the back. He's piecing up people with the STG now. Zuma's trying to sneak through. It's not going to be good enough. And yes, FaZe, well, yeah, you can see one player was thinking about pushing the back, and that's going to be Attached. But at the same time, you don't want to lose really spawns for next. So FaZe does go for the pinch, and it looks like they might find success. But no, even Joe's doing damage. Even the small wins FaZe is getting are just getting stripped away by Red Reserve. And just a couple seconds, again, every second is going to matter. Joe doing a nice job.
So their time right now.
It's tough.
All of the time that FaZe has earned is scrap time from Cave and scrap time from Bunker. I think that's it. And then what? A couple seconds
3 seconds on
ruins.
ruins. Yeah,
like wow, it has been it's been tough out there for FaZe to find any work in the objective. And at the next hard point, first in yet again is Red Reserve, and they have cabin control. So once again, it's going to be difficult for FaZe to find any kind of time.
Well, this is 100% the hill you want to be playing for streaks, to be selfish, and that's what Zero is attempting to do, and Attach is going to say no thank you. Either way, FaZe in the hill. Now Red Reserve wants to potentially go on the attack, but you can see Joe, he's just waiting to find Attach. Attach isn't crossing that line. He knows exactly where players are going to be looking at him from, and he's milking the clock for every second he can get, but it does look like Red Reserve able to take him down, but that's just the nature of East Road. Keep cap control, try to keep the opponent out, but not a lot cooking.
We're almost done with our first set of rotations here, and FaZe absolutely not out of it, but it just wasn't a pretty first set, right? You end up getting a little over 50 points through that first side, and not quite doubled up, but just about. But you're still in the game. You're still in the hunt, despite what was kind of ugly. Now look at Scraps, taking the long flank around, able to pick up a kill, and now an opening here for Red Reserve to go ahead and collapse. Zero, I think, was a nice gunfight from inside a Or where actually did he pick that up to back up FaZe? Regardless, it works out. Despite the fact he back up FaZe, though, Replays is on a 4 streak. See if he can increase this chance.
Well, FaZe is going to be in the hill. Replays is trying to let it rock, and he's got his teammate to watch his back, so he just has to watch the cross. And with 30 seconds, someone's eventually going to do it for Red Reserve, but you can see as soon as Replays wraps back, that's when they make the move towards the hill. So, again, it's not chaos. This is just how things go, but a very back-and-forth game, you could say, so far. Obviously, Red Reserve kind of hanging out inside the hill. Replays on the rotation, but he's got a lot of players to deal with, and the reason he's so far back is he's waiting to dodge these nades. Goes up in the power position, gets some streaks, but he needs that plus 100.
Can he get it? 3, 2, 1. The shift's coming in. He's going to drop right before it pops, so he just gets the glide bomb to work with. And just maybe need a little help. He needs his teammate to win that gunfight against Zero.
Well, he needed to not switch weapons either. I think it's a bigger thing. Just like sit there and pre-aim, lay down on the hill, let the kill come to you. But either way, small mistakes pay dividends. They are trying to break back through, and now he's forcing the gunfight, wins it cleanly. And FaZe, this is their chance. This is to get right back in the game. This is to take the lead. They're not in the hill because they're worried about nades. Replays trying to get a little bit of positioning, but now you got 3 flooding in from you, and Attach says, that is fine with me. I'll take 2 scalps, try to give me the 3rd as well. His teammate's going to trade it. And yeah, FaZe is going to be able to take the lead. And
we talk about the importance of AR on this map, not only for your AR production, but also the fact that it opens up lanes for your subs. When you take a look at the combination of Replays and Attach right now versus the other side in Rated and Joe, it has absolutely been Replays and Attach, but you still are trailing in this game. That's about to change, though.
Well, Bunker was the problem last time. They invested score streak. Not entirely sure why, because that player is going to spawn immediately back up, and they still have Bunker control. There's a player in the back that's going to be Scraps or Rated or someone or Joe or who knows. But they win the gunfights and slow FaZe down, clean 4 down. Now this is where Bunker gets brutal. You get the full setup. You get them spawning out a bridge. It is easy to lock down. First 2 kills go their way. The next 2 players from FaZe, they're stuck over by Cave. Of course, no one in the hill for Red Reserve. Whoever challenged out did fall, so a little bit of time chipped away, but still, Red Reserve take the lead. They're going to extend it by quite a bit.
And they might be able to get Rated set up in the front window. He did end up getting traded out, but they're still getting the time. Now the collapse is going to come in. Still a healthy chunk of time here as long as they can get him out of the hard point, but Joe's still surviving. Finally, the test is going to come in from Attach, but now the spawns come in. So it looked like he had kind of a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 spot there for FaZe, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. And Red Reserve gets right back in due to holding the spawn.
It's just Bunker. Again, even with the flank, even with the 2-piece, it's so easy to stay alive in the hill from wherever the pressure is coming from that as long as it's played smartly, which Red Reserve did, you will just get the time. Now, of course, FaZe, they have, I was going to say, a perfect setup. They pushed up a little bit too far. Now Red Reserve spawns back bridge. And I don't know if they know it yet because the player on the cap, it doesn't matter. Attach finds 2.
And now they've got him spawning out cabin. And look how far pushed up someone like Zuma is. So he's going to be able to put shots in them before they're actually like getting like good, accurate nades into the hard point. This has been perfect, but 2 are going to push in through ruins. Zuma wins his one-on-one on the other side, and Priesta is going to hit a little bit of a naughty flank here. He's got one right next to him. There's the kill. Right back into the hard points. He beams another across map. Grenade, I think, hits Scraps as well. But despite it all, the last team standing in the hard point is going to be Red Reserve with 15 seconds remaining here.
Replays, though, in from Cave is able to find one, trying to do some damage. Red Reserve actually smoked off that cross to make Replays essentially irrelevant. That's how they broke through, but now you find Red Reserve, get a little bit of scrap, have a nice 37, make it 38-point lead going into Cave, and Scraps is on the hunt. He's letting people know. Man has 22. Wow, only 22.
You set up there for what feels like 20 seconds for Replays, and the second the new hard point pops, you drop again. It's got to be frustrating. He's in position, just needs a bit of help. But Scrap's able to hunt him out and now set up. Red Reserve building this lead once again, but look at the kill feed. All yellow is FaZe. Chop down Red Reserve. And Cave flipped on its head, and Zuma soaring up mid.
I mean, let's just take a minute to point out 40-point lead. Scraps -5, Rated -4, Joe -8, Zero -1, and they're winning. So they've at least been playing well, and we can talk about how this happens later on. But right now, FaZe is working on the comeback. They're going to get that final 20, 25 seconds. Not of scrap time, of incredibly solid hill time, and they're fighting on the rotation.
The big thing, like, yes, is FaZe out slaying by an okay margin? Sure, but have they built any streaks behind it? No, just the one glide bomb, right, has really been it. So you haven't earned any streaks despite the fact that maybe you've been out slaying a little bit. And that's going to be a big part of this. All right, here we go. Ruins with 13 points separating these two teams.
Players just dropping left and right, man. Again, it's just the chaos. Neither team can even get to the hill, let alone think about picking up some time. And you got one player in there for Red Reserve, but the nades are going to be pelting him. But it looks like finally, again, they're able to stabilize just for a moment. They can't get in. Now it's going to be FaZe back on the attack. Zero's trying to stay alive. Raid is trying to stay alive, and they just can't. Now FaZe is back, but a player for FaZe gets in the hill, and then they die. Now Replays is there, but the nades are coming in over top. It's chaos. It's pandemonium. FaZe is down by 11, and now Joe's back in the hill, back and forth, bodies everywhere. It's a massacre.
Scraps is huge here. Scraps on the other side is huge here. He's got two players from FaZe to deal with. One's already in bunker, and he's going to drop. So the opening is there for FaZe fan to get bunker control, despite the fact the backside was controlled throughout Ruins by Red Reserve. They spawn out cabin, two of them hit through, and suddenly control comes to FaZe. So despite the fact he give up maybe the final, 15, 20 seconds there, as long as they can hold the back here, you see where the spawn comes in for Priest, so they're still feeling good. You can take the lead here if you're FaZe clan behind a nice bunker hold. Scraps, though, able to get inside and at least contest. This is big time.
The hill that wins or loses you the game. Can Red Reserve make the break, or can FaZe hold strong? It looks like they're making the break. Priest is last one in the back. He's only able to get one, and just like that, Scraps contest and FaZe falls apart. Now they have to go. They could lose on this hill.
That's two bunkers now where FaZe has had the early setup, and Red has just ripped through them. That's how you lose the game. And it hasn't been behind a streak. Oh my God. 15 seconds remaining for Red, and they take a 3-1 victory in this one. Joe's hitting mid-map. Joe's awfully close to streaks as well. You get the final tick here. They get the final tick. I think they win it here.
They don't. No, they get to 240.
Oh, it got contested. Okay.
The question is can they keep them out of the East Road Hill for more than 2 seconds? And of course, the answer to that is going to be no. Red Reserve.
Big win for Red, man.
With the hot 3-1 to solidify their place at the top of the division. Europeans rejoice.
A big and impressive victory here. And like you said, keeps them up top. But, I mean, the big thing, I think, for FaZe Clan on the other side of it, still a huge week. You go 3-1. You're now, 3-4 after starting 0-3 in week 1, so you're right back in the mix of things.
You're in the conversation.
If you had a poor week here, you're really, really in trouble. You handle business. You get 3-1. You lose to the team at the top of the division, which hurts. You would have loved to have the 4-0 week, but you still feel good about their ability to bounce back. And then for Red Reserve, just chalk up another impressive win for them. Unbelievable stuff. But I'll tell you what, I do want to take a look here at the scuff play of the game, or us.
We're the play of the game, man.
Yes, we are. Hey, great job. You did it.
Passing job. That's solid.
Thank you. All right, we're going to take a look at it from Joe. And I'm not even sure what the exact play is. So is this, I guess holding bunker here.
They got the time. Let's go.
Soaking up the objective. But look, Joe, he goes nuts at the end there. He has a 5 streak and a lot of time in the hard point. But for the most part, talking about that Attach versus Joe battle up until the final bits here, you could say Attach at the edge. You have a lot more engagements on Joe as well.
Well, for the sake of being pedantic, there was a play on the first set of rotations where Red Reserve initially got their lead. And keep in mind, they were getting outslayed. Remember Scraps, he's hitting the back through belt, and he wins 2 gunfights to give them that deep spawn to break bunker. That, to me, would be the play of the game. He wins a gunfight he shouldn't have against Priest, so it gives them the back spawn there. And that's like 3 hills that they kind of win, like back to back, and that's where they got their 60-point lead. Like,
that was it. Right. Yeah, he won a 1-on-1. Then his teammate, because he won that, was able to get in position right after he dropped, and then Scraps just basically died and spawned 8 feet away. Yeah. Like, it worked out perfectly. But yeah, the two breaks on bunker were just huge. Like FaZe had setup, had control, just couldn't actually hold on for a big chunk of time there. And also, you started pretty slow for your FaZe. I mean, it was around 100 to 20 or so early in that. Yeah, and then of course you have the CTF that comes down to 1 flag. You have the S&D that's close all the way around. Big win for Red. 3-1 victory, but folks, we aren't done yet. We still have 1 match to close out the night. It's Echo Fox versus Team Envious after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty World League presented by PlayStation 4. We're at the final game now here of Week 2, Day 3, of course, for Division A gameplay. And what a final day it's been. Some fantastic games. Of course, we just saw Red Reserve versus FaZe Clan on the main stage. And the series was great. Of course, I know you and Chance just had the discussion a little bit earlier on about who you think could potentially be the top of the division. He said, look out for Red Reserve. You're, of course, saying EG. But that's a big win for Red Reserve there, of course. Does that maybe change your mind at all?
It doesn't change my mind, but it definitely is a big win for Red Reserve. You know, FaZe were 3-0 this week going into that match, and Red Reserve beat them 3-1. It definitely wasn't easy for Red, but they did show that they're the better team. Now, can Red top this division? 100%. They definitely have the ability to do it. I just think EG's look a little bit better, so I'm going to stick with them. But, wow, Red just beating FaZe after they've been dominating all their opponents this week. Impressive.
It is worth mentioning, you know, credit where credit is due for the FaZe boys. I mean, I know they were bitterly disappointed. We heard them kind of talking after the series, looked a little upset, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But it is a good turnaround, Joe. They start off Week 1. Not good at all. They don't win anything. Week 2, they do bring it back 3-1. So I think that's important for them.
No, it definitely is. And obviously, they have a lot of time to work with, right? This is the end of Division A for the first part. Their first round robin's done. We're going to have Division B. They can go home. They can work on some things. We'll see sort of maybe the full phase back at Anaheim. That's going to be their next test. If they have a good tournament there, you have to be scared for these other teams because you imagine that FaZe is going to come back during that second play and potentially dominate. We know that this FaZe team can go off. I mean, before coming into this division, we said FaZe was going to be #1. How many times did they lose? Maybe once or twice to a team like Red, to a team like TK. Did we expect them to go 3-4 the first set of games? No, but we know that they have the ability to bring it back just like they did this week.
Yeah, they put themselves in a much better position, it's worth saying, of course, than it maybe could have been, especially after the first week's gameplay. But we'll talk a little bit about the series and the way it went down. Of course, a bold strategy from FaZe Clan. Of course, they allowed that Saint Marie du Mans through the hardpoint map 1, and kind of everyone looked at each other and went, uh-oh, that could be a bit of a mistake. But I know they've played each other on that map a fair amount of times. It's always been close, and this time, to their credit, FaZe actually take it, Joe.
You have to feel pretty confident if you're FaZe, especially after map #1, right? Like, you beat them on their best map. That is one that, you know, Red Reserve has just dominated some of the best teams in the world on. Nobody wants to play them on it. They go for the challenge. They say, you know what? We'll play you on this. They outplay them for the most part. There was a couple of questionable plays. There was like that artillery by Rated I didn't really agree with, you know, but again, FaZe looked good. They were dominating hardpoint. 1-0 FaZe, you're thinking this is going to be FaZe's match.
I mean, the issue is that they were just unclutched on games 2 and 3. You know, they were up in that search and destroy, and they ended up losing it. And then the capture the flag was 6-5 victory for Red Reserve. So I mean, if they're able to clutch up, maybe that series goes FaZe's way. I mean, after winning that first map, everybody I think at home thought that they were going to be able to bring that series, you know, over as a W for the FaZe fans, but unfortunately it doesn't go their way and they end up losing it. But I think there's a silver lining in this where they played them tough, where they haven't been playing too well. So if FaZe fix a few of their issues, they can definitely be back in that top form we've seen them at stage 1.
I think that's the key point as well, is they now have time to fix those issues, right? They've kind of done a bit of damage control, if you will. They put themselves still right about the middle of the pack, which is good considering how it started for them. Of course, I mean, speaking of the standings, here they are. They find themselves 6th place, 3-4. Of course, a couple of games still to be played. We'll see Echo Fox and Team Envious in action next. So one of those two teams is going to be 3-4 as well. So essentially, you're tied 5th, 6th.
You're right there. I mean, you're right there. In what, TK? Not safe at all. Red Reserve, EG, you know, they have a loss or two to give, but a team like Envious, a team like Echo Fox, the pressure is on them. And then you even have to think about a team like Splice. They're 3-4 as well. So that next set of games, there's going to be a ton of pressure. Every single match for these guys could be the difference maker of, you know, going to playoffs or not. And then we always talk about it. Yeah, we're so focused on the second set that you have to go back and look. If FaZe don't go 0-3 the first week, if they go 1-2, maybe they make playoffs. We'll have to see what happens.
Every game matters.
It does, and for Red Reserve, I'm sure they're going to be thrilled with how their first set of games have gone, as we saw, sitting pretty at the top. But it's important to not get complacent, right? You've come here, you've played extremely well, things have been meshing well, but you still need to practice, you still need to really play well on the off time.
I think the big thing for Red, though, is they've showed that they're not stopping at all, right? Even if you look at, like, something as simple as the Pro League Challenge, like, they took it as very serious, you know, practice. You know, they wanted to continue to get better. This is a team in Red Reserve that they want to prove to the world that they made the right roster move, that they could be the best team in the world, or at least fight for it. I still think, though, there's some inconsistencies that we've seen, right? Like even in that Arden Forest, you know, where you're all going negative. It's great that your teamwork is there, but if they can step up, that means they can fight with the likes of Rise Nation, of of Optic Gaming. We'll just have to wait and see at Anaheim.
Touching on what he kind of said about preparation, where this division has kind of been the teams that have prepared for their opponents the most have been succeeding. And the reason being, I think at this stage of the game, we're about like a little bit past the halfway point, and everybody understands how to play certain aspects of the game, the fundamentals. So it's that extra preparation for the opponent that you have on that day that is giving these teams the edge. We see EG winning hard points by 10, 20 points because